Hello, everyone. My name is Naisha Barton, and I am founder and CEO of Kingdom Excellence, which is an education consulting company. I am coming back again with another tip on student engagement. So, this week we're talking all about seating. If you want to engage your students more, you have got to switch up the seating. And I know that sounds really basic and it may not sound like it matters, but let me tell you, it matters. So traditional seating in the classroom looks like this. All of the desks facing in the same direction, usually toward the front of the classroom. And this also usually means that the teacher is in front of the classroom doing most of the talking. This is not going to work in modern teaching style. We need to switch things up. So, one of the things I used to love to do as a teacher was switch up the seating in my classroom. And let me tell you, it brought different levels of engagement and I loved it. It got to the point where students did not know what to expect when they were coming to class. Sometimes they were even peeking, like, how are the desks today? Like, oh man, we're in the circle today. So some of the ways I used to switch up the seating were this. So I used to put the whole entire class in a circle. So all the desks. Sometimes I didn't even use the desk. Sometimes I would just use the chairs because I wanted students just to be really engaged and focused in the discussion that I planned for us to have. So we would do like a big circle and I would sit in a circle as well. Sometimes I would switch up where I broke up the entire class into two large groups. So right down the middle, there were 20 students, so 10 in this group, 10 in this group, and I would pose maybe the same or different discussion or assignment to those two groups, and then I would go back and forth. I would split my time between those two groups. Sometimes I would sit in more on this side, depending on how I structured that. Sometimes the seating was to be in groups of fours, and sometimes they had a project they needed to work on in that group, or sometimes they had it was a reading group that they were doing. They were taking turns reading, and we also gave each person a different role. That also increased the engagement. Sometimes they were working in pairs, and the seating reflected what I wanted them to do. So if I wanted them in pairs, they came in and there were two seats side by side throughout the classroom. If I wanted them working in fours, the seating was already in a group of four. If I wanted them in groups of six. And so switching up your seating is very, very important for student engagement, because what happens is not only are you switching up the seating, you're also changing the amount of teacher voice versus student voice. If your students are always facing forward, the expectation is you're going to be in front of the classroom doing most of the talking. Well, when you do the other types of seatings, it up levels the amount of time that students are talking, and that increases student engagement all by itself. So when students hear their peers talking, they tend to be more engaged, they tend to listen more. And so there are other things that we'll talk about. I think I'm just going to stay on student engagement for a couple more weeks, but this is just something that I found worked well for me as a teacher. If you have anything else that worked well for you, please drop it in the comments. It will help another teacher out. If you want to learn more, if you want more specifics about how I could support your school or help your school with any tips, you can visit kingdomexcellenceeducation.com. Have a great day.